You lean closer to the mirror, but the glass is murky, like trying to read your own face through water. The faint outline behind you shifts. At first, it could be another passenger. But as your eyes adjust, you realize it's your own shadow. Except it's moving on its own. It tilts its head. You do not. It raises a hand. You do not. You both stare. Outside the cart, Edo fades again. Now it's nighttime fully, and the stars burn with impossible clarity above tiled rooftops and curved temple eaves. You spot an incense vendor wheeling his cart, moving as if underwater, his sandals not quite touching the ground. The cart rolls through him, or he rolls through the cart. It's hard to tell. Inside, the passengers sit straighter, alert but not alarmed. The woman with the crimson bundle finally opens her eyes. She leans forward just slightly, as if sensing a stop ahead. The conductor lifts the lantern, illuminating a small alcove near the back of the bus. It's now filled with paper dolls, hundreds of them, folded from rice paper, shaped like people, some holding tiny fans or musical instruments. A few wear charcoal smudges as makeup. Others bear small kanji inscriptions, names or prayers maybe. These are Katashiro, paper proxies used in Shinto purification rituals. In theory, they absorb your misfortune. In practice, they were sometimes set afloat down rivers or left at shrines. But here, on this strange liminal ride, they sit in a neat row, as if waiting for their own ticket to be punched. One of the dolls twitches, then another. No one else seems surprised. You wonder if they're representations, or passengers themselves. Maybe souls too young, or too light, or too forgotten to take on full form. The air smells faintly of old ink and ashes. A child's voice breaks the silence. Are we there yet? You whip your head around. A little boy, no more than 5 or 6, now sits beside the woman with the bundle. You're positive he wasn't there before. His kimono is too large, sleeves swallowing his hands. He clutches a wooden spinning top, chipped on one edge. She doesn't answer, just places her hand gently on his head. The conductor gives the faintest nod. Another click of the wheel. Outside, the cart slows. You pass an old bridge, wooden, narrow, sagging under the weight of years. A torii gate marks its entrance, but it's cracked and covered in climbing vines. Beyond it, mist rolls like tidewater over what looks like a deserted village. Shattered windows, fallen lanterns. One house still stands whole, its paper screens glowing softly. From the shadows, a figure steps forward. He bows toward the bus, slowly, and the boy rises. No words are exchanged. The woman presses her bundle to her chest, not releasing it. The boy gives her a long look, questioning, hopeful, a little sad. Then he walks off, barefoot, across the creaking bridge. He does not look back. The moment stretches long and brittle, like old silk under strain. Historians still argue whether tales of yūrei, the wandering dead of Japanese folklore, were born from belief or used to reinforce social order. Finish your duties or be doomed to wander, they warned. But in times of grief, these stories also gave comfort. Maybe the souls weren't gone. Maybe they were still traveling. Maybe some bus, yes, even one like this, was guiding them gently home. The cart shudders once, as if sighing. A weight has lifted, but in its place, silence. The kind that makes your breath sound too loud. The woman closes her eyes again. The conductor replaces the lantern on its hook. Shadows return. You glance back at the paper dolls. Some now lie on their sides. The boy's spinning top remains, gently turning on the seat where he sat. Your gaze drifts back to the mirror. The reflection remains. But the shadow behind you has vanished. That thread tied around your wrist, it tightens just slightly. And somewhere beneath your feet, deep in the wooden floorboards of the cart, you think you hear a faint lullaby, plucked on a shamisen, or maybe just the wind through cracked beams. It's off-key but soothing. For the first time, you let yourself settle back. The road ahead glows silver in the moonlight. The bus glides forward, not lurching, not rolling, just gliding. The wheels barely seem to touch the ground anymore. Edo's streets have transformed into a dark mirror of themselves. Lanterns flicker dimly from balconies above, but their light no longer warms the cobbled paths below. It's as if the city's reflection has peeled away, and you're riding through the ghost of it. You lean against the window. The glass is cold. Outside, a rickshaw waits with no runner, its canopy slightly fluttering despite no wind. A cat, black with a crooked tail, watches the bus pass, eyes unblinking, glowing faintly yellow. You blink back. The cat bows. Behind you, the conductor begins to hum. It's an old tune, something from a festival long forgotten. You recognize the rhythm before the melody, like a summer fair echoing from decades ago. It's slow, off-tempo, almost like a child remembering it by heart, but not by ear. The passengers sit in reverent silence. No one speaks. No one dares. Then the smell changes. Gone is the faint incense and lacquer. Now it's rain-soaked earth and moldy wood. The scent of things buried, things forgotten. You glance up, just in time to see the bus pass through a torii gate. But instead of red, this one is blackened, charred in places, like it survived a fire long ago. Hanging from it are old ima, wooden prayer plaques, each cracked, some with ink bleeding from old wishes. Please let my son return from war. Forgive my sins. Let her soul find rest. You don't know where these wishes ended up, but something tells you this ride might be where they're collected. The conductor pulls a rope, no bell chimes this time. Instead, the entire cart breathes, as though alive. You don't know how else to describe it. The beams creak, not from weight, but from memory. You feel the whole thing sigh around you, as if remembering every soul that's ever boarded. And then, you see him. A new figure boards at the next stop, except there is no stop. The bus hasn't slowed. The doors haven't opened. He's just here, sitting across from you, as if he's always been there. He's dressed like a scholar, robes slightly frayed, spectacles round and fogged. He holds an open scroll in one hand, a brush in the other. His head is bowed, reading, scribbling, but the brush is dry. There's no ink pot. You try not to stare, but your gaze drifts to the paper. It's blank. "Can I help you?" he asks suddenly, still not looking up. You jolt. You didn't speak. Or did you? He finally looks up. His eyes are completely white. No pupils, no irises. Just blank, milky void. But somehow, kind. Gentle even. Like freshly fallen snow. Or bone china. "I'm the record keeper," he says softly. "Every rider must be written." You glance around, suddenly aware that every seat bears an invisible tag. Names? Maybe. Fates? Possibly. But the ink doesn't stay. The brush moves, the scroll rolls, but nothing appears. Some names fade quickly, he says, answering your unspoken thought. Some linger. Depends on how loudly they lived. The conductor bows toward him, respectfully, maybe even nervously. A subtle nod. The scholar nods back, and in that tiny exchange, you feel a hierarchy. The conductor guides. The scholar records. Neither one controls. Outside, the city warps again. Now it's a riverbank, moonlit, still, filled with boats tied lazily to piers. Lanterns float on the water, each carrying a flame too steady to be real. One by one, they drift under a wooden bridge shaped like a half-circle, and you notice every lantern casts no reflection. A figure in white kneels at the edge, placing another lantern gently onto the surface. Her kimono trails behind her like spilled milk. You swear she looks up at you, though her face is hidden behind a kitsune mask, painted with tears. You blink, and the bus has passed her. No sound, no splash. Inside, the scholar sighs. He rolls the scroll slowly, gently, as if tucking it in for sleep. Historians still argue whether these rituals, he mutters, were superstition or salvation. I say they were both. We all need something to write our names on. He leans back, vanishing as quietly as he arrived. His seat is now empty. Only a single brush hair remains, curled on the cushion like a cat's whisker. You lean back too, and in that breath, you realize something else. You can't quite remember where you boarded this bus, or why. The thread on your wrist pulses again, warm this time, comforting, almost approving. The conductor smiles faintly in the mirror, and then he says the first words he's spoken aloud since you boarded. We're approaching the place where memories live. The lights dim, the cart creaks, and the road ahead darkens like ink spilled across parchment.